Hi, I'm John Waterhouse. Welcome to the original science of mind as taught by Reverend Dr. Barbara Waterhouse. This is class 3 in her series, and I'm really glad that you're here this evening to share in this class or whenever it is that you're watching it, maybe evening. And Barbara's going to take it away right now. So have a great class, and I'll see you at the end.
We begin everything with a spiritual mind treatment, so take a breath. And then let it go. And please continue breathing. But there is nothing to do, nothing to hold on to, only that which is to be known. And so we let go of all of the outside distractions and we move into that inner awareness that there is only one thing going on. It doesn't matter what word we use to try to describe it. It could be spirit or cause or the infinite or the absolute. It could be God. It could be creator. It could be the divine. It doesn't matter. There's only one thing going on. It is the energy that creates life. It is that which out of comes all things, all people, all circumstances. And so this one thing is manifest in form. And if there's only one thing manifesting itself into form, then that must be what we are. So we look at ourselves in our spiritual nature. We are one with everything because there is only one. We are created out of the divine, and so we are divine. We are spirit beings. God shows up as us. And since we are a manifestation and incarnation and individualization of the divine, then whatever that is, we must be. So take a deep breath. Whatever God is, we are. So whatever God is creative and infinite and healthy and whole. God is alive, so we are life. God is prosperous and abundant, so we are prosperous and abundant. God is healthy, so we are healthy. God is love, so we are love. God is joy, so we are joy. That's how we came. There's nothing to turn into, nothing to get. It is our nature. And so I know that we come together this night to this class to get it, that our nature is divine, our nature is spiritual. It is the truth of us, the essence of us. And so we let go of anything that is unlike that and step fully into the light of the God consciousness that we are. We step fully into that life of health and happiness, prosperity, joy, love that is us now. And so we move into a state of thanksgiving. Yippee! Yay! What a fantastic life we have. We're not missing anything. We're not broken. There's nothing wrong. Everything is great. And in that state of gratitude, we simply release this treatment into all that God is because we know that God is all. And together we say, and so it is. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So welcome, welcome, welcome. How many people in this class were not here last week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Great, I'm so glad that you're here. We are using this book. It is the original Science of Mind textbook. There is a pile of them back in the bookstore. You can buy one for $24, or you can go to our website and download one, if you're techie, for no charge. Our website is cslasheville.org, and I think the first button you click is free downloads. Now this is a fantastic part of our website because it's full of free stuff. It's full of classes and talks, 10 years or more of Sunday talks, of classes, of workshops, all there for you for free. Because our purpose is to spread the teachings of Science of Mind, not to charge everyone who goes on our website money to look at what we've already done. From free downloads, you go to books, and then you're looking for the 1926. And those of you who were not here last week, if you want to, you can also go to this free download section or Devon may have it on the home page. She often does. That has the current class that we're doing, and you just click it on and you can either watch the video from last week or you can listen to the audio if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can go and catch up. And if anyone misses a class, you can catch up by reading or listening to the video or the audio if you want to. I haven't quite mastered how to make it come out on the audio system of my new car, but I'm sure that I'll figure that out sometime. I think maybe I can put it in my phone and then play it through the Bluetooth or something. But I have fantasies of driving down to Florida and back and listening to these incredibly inspiring, just so great talks, given by me. We used to have a TV show on every Saturday night at 8:30. And John would he would have to go to bed. He would get sick to his stomach. He just couldn't stand it. And I'm like, that is great. I should tithe to this woman. This is right on. She's fantastic. And then I would go to sleep and just, have all of these wonderful feelings and thoughts. You're in choice. You can either feel great about yourself or you can feel not great about yourself. And if you're not feeling great about yourself, you're going to manifest that in your life through the power of creation. And if you're feeling great about yourself, you're going to manifest all these great things. So it's really your choice. And what I said last week was Ernest Holmes used to teach his students to say, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me. Let's do it again. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me. Because if you don't think it, nobody else will either. And people go, oh, Barbara, you're narcissistic. Okay, because really it's all about me. All of my life is all about me, and all of your life is all about you. It has nothing to do with anybody other than you. It's your translation, it's your creation, it's your interpretation, it's your story. So if you're going to feel good about yourself, you're going to create people and circumstances around you that value you. If you have thoughts in your head that go, oh, that's so selfish, be selfish. You know how many rotten containers of milk have happened because nobody wants to drink the last of it? Nobody wants to drink the last of the orange juice, so it sits in there and goes bad? What is that about? Take the last cookie. Ask for what you want when you want it. Reach out and take that which is yours. You cannot take anything from anyone else, so if it was theirs, you wouldn't have been able to take it, so just take it. Take it or you'll miss an opportunity. Feel good about yourself. Tell yourself good things about yourself. Lift yourself up. Because as you do that, you start setting this creative law in motion. And as you set that law in motion, great things happen. When people come to me, and I really am on a tangent, we'll come back. But when people come to me for counseling and they complain about their partner and how their partner doesn't respect them, they don't value them, they don't treat them well, and they often don't come back, because what I tell them is this has nothing to do about your partner, this is all about you, and when you start respecting yourself, your partner will too. When you start treating yourself well, your partner will too. When you start supporting yourself, your partner will too. Now, it may be a different partner, because they are at choice. But you will be with someone who treats you well when you treat yourself well. So go ahead and just in the spiritual path, the ego's gotten a bum rap. You don't want to go crazy, but let your ego have a boost. Let yourself feel good about who you are. You are perfect. So don't criticize yourself. Don't put yourself down. You are whole. So don't think that you're missing anything. And you are complete. There's nothing broken in you. There's nothing that you can get to make yourself any better than you are. This is as good as it gets. And the plus of that is that this is really good. So allow yourself to embrace all that you've got going for you right now. So many people will take one thing that they think is not right, and they'll create a whole story about who they are around that. And I encourage you to take the 95 things that are terrific and to create that story, set spiritual law in motion with that, and watch how the circumstances in your life come into alignment with this fantastic person that you are. instead of being the one that things are taken away from or that things don't happen, all of a sudden you're the lucky one. How many people were here yesterday? Did you hear Ben? Did you hear him get that? He got in a relationship with Katie, and he said he thought she was either very lucky or that she was doing something. And 3 years later, after he got his job with Google, that his friend said, well, boy, you were really lucky. And he realized those were the words he used to say to Katie. And he looked around and he said, I got it. I got how to make my own luck. I got how to create what I want. So that's what we get to have in this class. We get to sit at the table of the buffet of life and pick and choose whatever we want. And if we taste something and we don't like it, like a job or a relationship or a diesel Volkswagen or whatever it might be, you don't have to keep it. You can give it back, you can throw it away. I marvel that people will sit at a buffet with all of this fantastic food and eat something they don't like. You like that? Oh no, I don't like it. Well, why are you eating it? Well, because it's on my plate and I have to eat all the food on my plate because children are starving in China. No, throw it away. There's more out there. Go find something that you like. So if it's a relationship, if it's a job, if it's a hobby, whatever it is and you don't like it, go find something better. Because every closed door is simply guiding you to the one that's open. And if you stand there in front of the closed door for the rest of your life because you think you have to, because it's being spiritual and it would just be so egotistical to go off and find something better, then you are the one who is creating the circumstances that are imprisoning you in a life that you don't like. And what this teaching in this class gives us is the opportunity to let go of what no longer works and to move forward into a life that you really want to live. Can I talk about you? Carrie? Carrie, server at Stony Knob for how long? 2.5 years until finally you said, no way, no more, And now Carrie runs a beautiful farm with her goats and chickens, an Airbnb, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're very happy. Yeah. What?
I said I don't have to correct you, you're right.
Yes, you're right. But I remember when you were starting that off, there was some uncertainty of, am I doing the right thing? Should I stay? And a thing that I don't really like because I've got the security of the money every week. But this is really what I want to do. I want to play with goats and I want to make cheese. I want to go to the tailgate market and sell it. And I want to have eggs that I feed all the people at the Center for Spiritual Living, best eggs in the world, because they truly are happy chickens. We are a choice. We command the creative power of the universe to manifest into form that which we want to have. And it is our choice as to where we go, what direction we set, what intention we move toward, that determines what kind of a life we're going to live. So, how does this work, Barbara? You might be asking. Let me draw you a picture. Are we done with this?
Yeah.
How many people are familiar with our website? Isn't it a great website? Awesome. A week from Sunday, Yvonne will be, what's it called? Launching our new website that they have been working on for at least a year.
It's already up. It's already up.
The launch comes a week from Sunday, where she's going to go over it and show us all the cool things that are there. It's on a soft launch right now to find the bugs. But it's a great website. It's got a lot of free stuff. It's got a lot of cool stuff on it. It's my hobby to go find books that are in public domain and make them available on our website. That usually takes a few months to clean them up, download them, make them look like a book, like they're supposed to look, and then put them in up on our website. But I love that. There's so much great stuff out there. And for us to be able to just click on that and have it be just right there, download. You want to download this? Well, I think I do. And there we have it. I think it's just great. And the other part of that is that people all over the world use our website. So there are people all over the world downloading the talks, the videos, the books, all of that. There are some great audiobooks that I recorded on the website too. And being able to have these teachings, whereas before it was kind of frustrating, would like to open up, Peru was one of the countries that had a lot of requests of wanting Science of Mind centers there. And that was a goal. How can we get people into Peru and populate the cities and start these groups? Now all they have to do is go online. And all of a sudden, all of that information is available to them. So I think that we're doing great work, and this is how it works. This is something that you're going to see a lot of. This is our Science of Mind teaching symbol. And in the beginning of the lessons, we're starting with the basic circle divided into 3 groups. Now, these are not different parts of spirit. These are not God number 1, God number 2, God number 3. That's not it, but they are different aspects, different ways that spirit works, so that we can wrap our heads around how creation happens. And this is not the end-all be-all of how creation happens, because I'm sure there are some subatomic particle processes that I have no idea about. But what I know is that when you take a thought and it moves through something, I'm going to give it a word, but really I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you, I have no clue what happens when the thought is thought and then I get something. But I know that something does happen because my thought turns into a thing. Everything is a solidified thought. So here we have cause and effect. We have something that is not hard, something that is ethereal, energetic, it's a thought, it's a cause, and then we have something that is solid. We have the amount of money that we have, the car that we drive, the body that we have, the experiences in our lives. We've got some solid things that come from something that's not solid. And most people don't know how their life got to be the way that it is. Most people don't have any sense that there was something that came before the bounce check, the contract that fell apart, the divorce, the bankruptcy, the diagnosis, whatever, that there was something that came before that that actually created the things in our life. And once we realize that there is something that comes before the thing, then it all opens up. Because if we want to have certain things in our life, is there anybody who wants to have something? I do. I do. If I want to have that thing, then I need to be mindful of what is coming before the thing I want. So what is one of the things that you want in your life? Michaela?
Money.
Money. Money's a good thing. So, if you want money in your life, and you know that there is something before the money hits your hand, it's a thought, it's a feeling, it's a direction, it's an intention, it's a creative force, it's part of the prosperity and the abundance of all of life. If you know that, then do you think you might want to pay attention to those specific causal energies that will end up creating money in your life? Hello? If you want money, then you've got to figure out what causes money. And most people think, well, a job causes money. No, it doesn't. A job, has anybody ever had a job and not had any money? A couple of jobs, jobs and not had any money. And then you look at people who have no job and they have a lot of money. Jobs have nothing to do with money. It's part of the mass hypnosis of people. What if you want a better health? in your life? What might you want to do? Some people think, and forgive me because I know you're sitting in this room, well, it's all about the food. It's all about the supplements. It's all about the oils. It's all about the exercise. It's all about the yoga. No, it isn't. It's all about the thought. It's all about the intention. There's a great book out called Mind Over Medicine, written by a doctor. So many documented cases of how cholesterol has nothing to do with heart disease. It's proven. Why are they still giving statins?
That's right.
I love them, I bless them, I give them,
And I let them
and I
go.
release them. Because if you have a belief that statins are going to help you, they're going to help you. Yeah, it's the placebo effect. But there's so much coming up now that it's the idea and not the thing. That the idea comes first. Last week we talked about the seed and the soil and the plant. For those of you who weren't here, it looked like this, a little seed. And then we had the soil, and then we had the plant. I'll do a flower because that's about all I know how to do. There you have the seed, the soil, and the plant. The seed has within it everything that it needs to bring forth the plant. And why is that important to us? Because if we have a seed of an idea, that idea has everything that it needs to bring forth the finished product. We don't have to go and cut a seed open and put a little piece of something in it. It's got everything that it needs. And if we look at the soil as that spiritual law, the fertile soil of mind, all that brings everything in form into form, that is everywhere and always present, always here, then the soil is a given. All we have to do is plant the seed. And no matter how far-fetched it is, no matter how impossible people tell you it is, the very fact that you had the idea means that everything that is required for that idea to come into form is already there. Already there. Remember, we talked about the idea that spirit is an infinite. Again, it's the circle that has no circumference. But the spirit has to be an infinite in order for time and space to hang together. You cannot have two infinites. And you cannot have somebody or something outside of the infinite, or you have the infinite and then not the infinite. You have other, you have something else. You've gone from a unity into duality, and as soon as you have duality, you have conflict instead of harmony. And quantum physics has proven mathematically that there's only one. Doesn't matter what you call it, a unified field, a creative force, there's only one thing that can mathematically be going on in order for time and space to exist. So you have a unity. Now, let's say you have an idea. Here you have an idea. If that idea is missing whatever it needs to come into form in your life, then you have over here whatever I need for my idea to manifest. And you've got that outside of the infinite. And if there is a way for your idea not to have whatever it takes to come into form, whether it's world peace, whether it's intergalactic travel, I don't care what it is, whether it's a miraculous healing, whether it's a broken heart, whatever it is, has to be there in order for the infinite to exist. This is really important because whatever it is you can think must at some level already exist. So how wild can you think? So some people are still I know you're a wild child. Some people are still working on, well, if I could just get another $10, if I could just get a $2 an hour raise, if I could just get new tires for me. You have the infinite at your disposal. How wild can you think? Whatever is required for that idea to manifest in form must be contained in the idea, otherwise you would not be able to think that thought. You would not be able to think that thought. Jackie?
15 years ago on the back of a Kenny Loggins t-shirt, he said, if you want it, it's here.
If you want it, it's here. If you think it, it's here. It has to, mathematically, scientifically, it has to work that way. And yet so many of us are hypnotized into the idea that says, well, we can only go so far, we can only have so much, that's impossible, it'll never happen. You know, we live in apple country. For people to still say money doesn't grow on trees is absurd. Of course money grows on trees and everywhere else. So if you have an infinite, whatever you can think must exist in the infinite in order for the infinite to be infinite. Otherwise there wouldn't be an infinite, there would be two whatevers. Time and space wouldn't exist and we wouldn't be who. So the very fact that you can think tells you that you can have whatever it is you can think of. Now, I'll grant you it's not that simple, because there's that whole aspect of bringing yourself into alignment with that which you want to experience, but what else have you got to do? So often you've brought yourself into alignment with what you don't want to experience. You've worried, you've told your friends about your problems, you've journaled about all of your feelings about it, and you've made up stories about your past that had you losing. You brought yourself into alignment with being, instead of being this magnificent being of light and power and clarity. You are so powerful, you brought yourself into alignment with being dim, weak, and confused. Why am I getting feedback?
The movement. I can switch to this one if you want to, or we'll wait for break.
I'm going to hook this onto my shirt. There we go.
There you go.
So, when we bring ourselves into alignment with the seed of the idea, if we are not manifesting that, it's not the seed's fault. It was right there. The car is in your driveway. If you can't see it, that's not on the car. That's on your ability to open up to the idea that you deserve to have the car, that it's a possibility to have the car, that the entire universe delights in giving you a car. And when you can do that, you get the car, or the relationship, or the money, or the job, or the healing, or the trip to Hawaii, or whatever it is. You get that. But so many people will allow themselves to fall into this idea that says, that's not possible. It doesn't exist. Do you know there is nothing that doesn't exist? Everything has to exist. And that's where you get into some of the more wooey kind of things of alternate universe layers and different lives that you're having right here and right now, and it's all kind of piled on top of each other, happening simultaneously. Breathe. Or, I mean, that takes me back to the Seth material. You're having every choice you make takes you to a new life. And you're having all of these multiple lives and experiences all at once. Far out. I want to focus on the happy ones. Or in quantum physics, it says that there are unlimited, sounds like infinite, unlimited packets of possibility. This is a scientific term. It's a packet of possibility. And that they all exist. Whatever could be already exists in the potential or possibility form right now. And as soon as you think of it, it's like a tractor beam goes out, grabs a hold of that one packet of possibility, like, I could have been happy, I could be happy. And it brings it into your life. They say it collapses into form. This is scientific jargon. Honest to God, it's called collapse into form, packets of possibility. These are quantum physics. There is nothing that is outside of the infinite packets of possibilities that exist right now. Everything that you will ever dream of already is here, waiting for you to connect with it. And you connect with it up here. You think a thought, you plant a seed, you set a cause in motion. And because we're working through spiritual law, and this is time and space, here's the space-time continuum, you're outside of time and space. So it doesn't matter if it's far away. It doesn't matter if it had to have happened years ago. You have real flexibility when you get outside of time and space. Well, the doctor has a picture of it, not necessarily. Once you get outside of time and space, we have found X-rays change, biopsies shift, reports change, things that would have had to have happened, well, people would have had to have met and started on this 20 years ago. So what? You're outside of time and space. When you get outside of time and space, the possibilities expand exponentially or infinitely. So when you can set something in motion here, it doesn't matter how far away it is, whether something's already happened, what's going to need to happen in the future, it doesn't matter. Because all of those things will come into alignment with the new cause, the new thought, the new intention, and collapse into form. So there's a possibility of having a wonderful relationship. And there's a possibility of having a horrible relationship. And you have an opportunity to tractor beam that packet of possibility every moment of your life. So when you awaken in the morning, do you think it's a good idea if you're sleeping with someone, if you look at your partner and tractor beam that wonderful relationship? Some people wake up in the morning and go, what am I still doing with this bum? And then they wonder why they're not having a great relationship. Well, if I could just get rid of this person, I would have a wonderful relationship. If only I had someone else. No, no, no. Because remember, it's all about you. Everybody is just a reflection of you. So when you think the thought, it's very important that we start to pay attention to what thoughts we are thinking, how we are setting this process in motion, and what we're going to get out of it. I can chase people away really fast. All I have to do is start criticizing them. In my head, never has to come out of my mouth. Before I know it, they're gone. But that's not a good way to get rid of people. A good way to get rid of people, if you want to get rid of someone, is to outgrow them, outlove them. And then if they want to come along with you, they can. And if they don't, they'll go find someone to be miserable with. So it's really important to start to pay attention to the thoughts that you think and the causes that you set in motion. And sometimes you just look at what you've already got. How did this happen? Well, let's backtrack. What were you thinking? What were you doing? Some people say to me, oh, I want to have a relationship just like you and John. Well, get ready for some work. It took me 4 serious relationships, or 3, 2 marriages and 1 long-term live-in relationship to get to where I could even connect with John. And then we both have a lot of work to do with each other. To let go of things that don't work, to focus on things that do work. It's not uncommon at all that we'll be drifting off to sleep and he will say, these are his words, have I told you today how much I love you? Now he wants a nice loving wife. And he knows that it's incumbent upon him to put some love vibes out for me to be loving back. I mean, I can be loving, but only for so long. I'm not going to do that to a crummy person. I'm not going to do that. So he knows that he's got to put the love in the relationship. It's like people come into the center and go, well, how much love is here? Well, how much did you bring? You have exactly what you brought. Because it's all about you. Well, those people are so catty. Well, so are you. Those people are so wonderful, loving, and supportive. Well, so are you. Because everybody is just a reflection of you. So when you get that everything in your life is a reflection of something that happened inside of you, you did something. People say, well, I never thought that. Maybe you didn't, but you thought around it. You thought next to it. You felt some pretty big feelings about something similar, and that's what you tractor beamed into your life. So if you're going to do that, it's important to start getting the correlation between them. And you can start by looking at what you've got. How much money do you have? You have more than enough to do whatever it is you want to do, go where you want to go, buy what you want to buy, do what you want to do. If not, then think about what thoughts you're thinking that are limiting your perception of what can be. That's one reason I like vision boards so much. I love Katie holding up her vision board and saying, I made that vision board here. And it was a week later she met Ben. So she held up the vision board, because when you're making vision boards, you just go out there. We had, when we were doing the class on The Secret years ago, we had a group in here doing vision boards and a group in the sanctuary doing vision boards, and I would run from one room to the other. Does anyone have a private jet? Yeah, I've got one right here. Take it. Oh, see if they've got a yacht over there. Go over there. Who's got a yacht? I've got 3 of them. When you're doing vision boards, you're just out there. You're just playing in possibilities. And when you're playing in possibilities, you're opening to these different ideas of what could be. Well, how in the world would I have a private jet? I don't know. But I don't think that the whole manifestation process of infinite possibilities and my focusing on them, creating them, collapsing into form, requires me to know how it's going to happen. That's not part of the mix. All I need to do is focus on that tractor beam and bring into my experience what I have. Who knows, maybe somebody in this very room has a private jet. Talk to me after class. Who knows? I don't need to know how things are going to happen. I don't need to know. That's limiting. That's fear-based. That's saying, well, you need to show me. You need to plan it out and submit a plan for my approval before I'll risk wanting. Risk wanting. What is the worst thing that can happen?
You get it.
Have you ever been disappointed? Yeah. Have you ever not quite gotten what you wanted? Yeah. So what? Oh, I don't want to go through that again. Fine, just dig a hole, bury your head in it, and wait till you die. Otherwise, risk wanting. Risk opening up to this idea that says, I can have amazing things. Read stories about people who have amazing things. My new favorite television show is Blue Collar Millionaires. Has anybody ever seen it? It's on CNN or something like that. It's a fantastic show about how these regular people just turned into millionaires. There's one story of a woman who came here, her mother fled wherever their country was. She was going to college, working part-time to pay for it, and she took a job in a porta potty company. You know, this is not high class here. This is cleaning out porta potties. Have you ever used a porta potty? She was working, and she said, you know, the world is always going to have a need for porta potties, because the world is always going to have what goes into them. And she started small, started a company, did porta potties, did something else she was dropping off and picking up, and it caught her by surprise that she had become a millionaire. And now she was a multi-millionaire. And it wasn't that I have to be born with a silver spoon in my mouth, or that I have to have a Harvard education, or that I have to have all of this opportunity. It was that she opened up to the idea that there was possibility in this country for everyone. No matter what you did, you could make prosperity, riches, wealth. And so it's my favorite show, because I love these people just talking about how they're regular people. And I'm going, that's me. That's me. That's for me. That's you. That's for you. There is this level of possibility for each and every one of us, that all we have to do is do something, keep our mind open, go for what we want, open up to the possibilities of life, and watch what happens. Most people think, okay, now I'm in Science of Mind, I'm going to sit on the couch and just wait for it to drop in my lap. And then they're very disappointed. And they come to me and say, nothing happened. I said, well, what are you doing? Waiting. Here you are setting in motion, waiting. And what you get is waiting. Right? What have you created? Waiting.
Waiting.
Well, what did you do to create waiting? There must have been something that was in alignment with waiting, right?
Mhm.
Yes, I'm waiting all day, every day, and now I'm starting to worry because I haven't paid my mortgage or my rent and the bills are piling up, so I don't know what's happening. So now you put fear in with your waiting. What are you going to do? But if you think, I'm stuck, this is the only place I'll ever be in life, I'll never grow out of this, this is my background, this is my lot, then you are the one who is setting that up. You can have your life be any way you want it to be. Any way you want it to be. There are infinite possibilities, packets of possibility that are right there for you, waiting for you to just focus on them and have them show up in your life, to come into alignment, to have that tractor beam, to stay clear about what's possible and have that come into your life. Michaela.
Well, speaking about the waiting, because people wait a lot for things, like, it just, like,
Okay, so claim it to yourself. Say, I
I
wait a lot for things.
wait a lot for things.
Right, because I don't. So don't drag me into that. Own it for yourself. I wait a lot for things.
I wait a lot for things.
Okay.
People, like, are like, why are you waiting? There's nothing to wait about. You just take advantage of it. Like, that's what my mom says.
Well, great. So I encourage you to take advantage of it. Don't let the milk rot in the fridge.
That cookie, just get it.
Just get it. There you go. Just get the cookie. Get the cookie. Take what is yours. You cannot take anything away from anyone else. No one can take anything away from you. There is an abundance, an infinite abundance. If you take the last cookie, and some universe layer, there's another last cookie for somebody else. But if you don't take the last cookie because you think you don't deserve the last cookie, you will have the last cookie sitting there rotting forever, and you won't get it. Now, who did that? You did that. Because it's never about the last cookie. It's always about you. It's never about the things in your life that you created. It's always about that which set the creative process in motion. David.
There was a great commercial a few years back about a young girl after school that took the last cookie, thinking for a second, should I? Went ahead and did it. Then her little sister walks in looking for a cookie. So she gives the little sister the cookie, turns around, there's another cookie on the plate.
Yeah. There are infinite cookies. There are infinite opportunities. There are infinite circumstances in your life. There is an infinite amount of money. Oh no, Barbara, there's only a finite amount of money. You know how much money there is? And they just keep printing more. Not only in this country, but in countries all around the world, they just keep printing more money. There's an infinite amount of money. You can have all the money that you want. But there has to be a corresponding sense of wealth and value, and you've got to get in alignment with that with your tractor beam. Bob.
Well, it's even gone beyond that. Now they just put zeros and ones in there and it just shows up in your cart.
I know it's all electric now.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just floating around. I used to see it, especially in Miami, and I think that was because I was very sensitive to the drug trade in Miami, but I could just see money flying around. We had our church down there, we had a bank account with a bank, and I would go in there, and this isn't a real bank. This just isn't a real bank. And then it was a few years later that they busted them. It was a drug front. It was not. It was like Santa Claus or something like that. And they were just laundering money. No, this just isn't a real bank, but I see money flying around. Whatever it is you want to experience, you can have if you bring yourself into alignment, and that's the job. And what else have you got to do? Don't wait, take it. If you think that, well, I don't see it in my driveway yet, close your eyes and get in the car. Feel yourself in the arms of a beloved. Feel your body healthy and strong. If you're not feeling like you're physically able to right now, in your mind, go run that race. Go do that. Bring yourself more and more into alignment with that which you wish to have. There's all kinds of studies that your body will listen to what you tell it and will act accordingly. they had basketball players. One group practiced every day, one group did not practice, and one group pretended to practice. The group that didn't practice didn't get any better. The group that practiced got better, but the group that pretended to practice got better than the group that practiced. Wow, what are you telling yourself when you look in the mirror? When you go and meet someone and they go, gosh, I just love that. That's such a pretty colored shirt you've got on there. That's like a salmon, one of my favorite colors. I just love that. What do you say? Oh, no, you bet. Isn't that beautiful? I wear beautiful things. I love that color. I love the aliveness of it. I love having things that make me feel good. Way to notice. If you lift yourself up, you will find life lifting you. And so people say, well, how can I do that? You know, isn't that wrong? Isn't that bad? Isn't that just being really self-centered and obnoxious and people won't like that? Well, let me tell you, the people that won't like that are probably not having a great life. And people around you that are in alignment with that, which says, yeah, this is a hoot, isn't life great? We're having so much fun, let's make things happen, are going to be people that you're better off with. But there's such a thought process, there's such a group think of who we are in this world that says you shouldn't be making waves, you shouldn't be asking for too much. Don't you know the children in China are starving, and you should be grateful for what you have and just keep your mouth shut. You miserable person, you not God being. And that comes from this idea that says, rid of this.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Right, beggars can't be choosers, but it comes from this idea that says there's God and then there's me. And you, me, miserable sinner, I'm only human, don't ask too much of me, I'm certainly not this amazing, magnificent, powerful being. This group mindset puts a limit for most of us on what we're willing to accept and embrace in life. So then you come into a science of mind class that says, well, whatever God is, whatever spirit is, it's infinite, which means it must include you. And not only must it include you, take a deep breath. But what we said last week is that in order for an infinite to exist, it must exist in its totality at every point simultaneously. You can't have a piece of an infinite here and a piece of an infinite there. You cannot divide an infinite. So all that is must exist at the point of you as you is you now. You're not just a drop of the ocean. Rumi said this centuries ago. You're not the drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in the drop. You are not a part of God. You are God as you. So here we have this idea that we have an infinite, which includes this whole thing, but it has different aspects to it. And so there is something that happens. I'm not sure what it is. We can call it law. Ernest is going to call it soul, but that drives me crazy. Because when I think of soul, I think of that personal connection with me and the divine. So I don't like to use that. It's confusing to me. So I call it law. Because law is cold, hard, works for everybody, no subjective feelings about it, no ability to say, April, don't do that, you did it last time, you know what's going to happen. If you set this cause into gear now, you're going to have the same effect. So let me just intervene on your behalf and stop you. Law doesn't do that. Law just does it, just takes it. Just whatever you tell the law of electricity to do, it just does. It doesn't care whether you're turning the lights on or whether you're turning your freezer on. I'll keep it gentle like that. It doesn't care what you're doing, whether you're sticking a screwdriver in the socket, it doesn't care. It's just going to do its thing. So we've got this idea called law. We've got this infinite creative choice, cause, and then it goes through here and it turns into form. So in order for an infinite to exist, it must exist in its totality at every point simultaneously, which means all of this is existing even though we can only see that. So we look at our lives and we go, well, this is all I got. And I go, no, you have so much more. I love the sunrises because I take that in. I say, that is me. I am the sunrise. I am the movement of the planets. I am the warmth of the sun. I am the life all around me. That's who and what I am. I am not a little point separate from spirit. I am not only human. I am not an undeserving person in this world. And we've got this weird sicko deity thing going on that is a, forgive me, guy up on a cloud with the big robe, with the big embroidered G and the lightning bolts in one hand and the blessings in the other hand, and nobody knows what to do. I mean, even Job got the curses even though he was the good guy. It's a crazy, it's a crazy idea that has been put on people, that life is a test and that the result of that is eternal damnation or celestial whoopee. But with a lot of the people that are going to that heaven, I'm not sure I want to be with them to begin with, much less for all eternity. So we have this groupthink, this race consciousness that says we are certainly less than whatever God is. It's going back to throwing virgins into the volcano to try to appease the god of the volcano to not kill us all. I mean, it's just thousands and thousands of years of a mental idea that says that we are not powerful, we are helpless, and life is a surprise, and we may be eaten tomorrow, so we don't know what to do about it all, and we live in fear. And then we have this idea that says there is something that shows up in form as us, and it is all that is, which means it is all good, it is all health, it is all prosperity, it is all joy, it is all love. All of the love of all of life is manifested as you now. Not when you grow a little bit more or take a few more classes or get a promotion or something like that. It is manifested as you now. And not only that, but all of the power of creation is manifested as you now. You can create anything. If you were able to open up to the idea that God is you, you could reach your hand out and create anything you want. Anybody hear about Sai Baba? Sai Baba makes vibhuti or made before you, what? Yeah, what were
I got some vibhuti from
Yeah. John had vibhuti when Sai Baba transitioned. Sai Baba transitioned the exact same week that, who was the guy in Afghanistan? Saddam Hussein transitioned. Was it Saddam Hussein? No, Osama bin Laden. Now, powerful beings. Sai Baba transitioned the same week that Osama bin Laden did, and John did a compare and contrast on their lives, and he had a little container of vibhuti that he had had for years. Vibhuti is the holy ash that pours out of Sai Baba's hands. It fills up 55-gallon drums, and people who have photos of Sai Baba on their wall, in the morning, the floor is full of vibhuti. He understands who he is. And so John was handing out a little bit of vibhuti in like a little, I shouldn't say Coke spoon.
I get that.
And the place was packed. And the very last bit of vibhuti that should have run out halfway through the group, he put in his hand, and that was his. And that was part of that. If you know who you are, if you are in alignment with this greater reality that is not limited to, I'm gonna give this vibhuti away to anyone who wants it, and everybody wanted it, and I don't have enough. He could have made I don't have enough, but he didn't. He just knew that there was always plenty for everyone. So when you know who you are, you can reach your hand out and bring into your life anything that you want. Or you can have something come through you. Or you can attract it. Or you can, somebody was saying during the last class, I think it was on our CSL Wealth Walk Facebook page that is for the people who are in the prosperity class and continue writing their demonstrations, and someone was saying that they were working on forgiving their child's father. Working on forgiving their child's father, and that they called them, and that day they picked up 2 new clients. Now those clients didn't just that afternoon say, oh, I think I'll call. No, that was in the works. But was it in the works before, or did it go back in time and get in the works when that person cleared the energy to let go of the ex? I tell you, you are not limited by time. You are not limited by space. You are not limited by what other people have done or what other people think you can do. You are hanging out as a point which contains the whole. So this is actually how the circle gets a V in it. This point is actually a point of cause back at the top. So you as a point of the divine have within you all of the power of creation that God itself has. How could you not? In order for an infinite to exist, it must exist in its totality at every point simultaneously. Otherwise, time and space wouldn't be here and we couldn't have this conversation. The very fact that you are here thinking is proof that you have all that God is as you. Now, I will grant you it's a little big to grok, but it's a whole different mindset than, well, I don't have the education, I don't have the opportunity, the contract didn't go through, I'm this age or that sex or this sex or whatever. No, there are no limits in an infinite. And you are infinite, because that which spirit is infinite. And spirit is you. God is you. It's a big jump from being a miserable, rotten sinner that's doomed to burn in hell forever to saying, no, God is me. But it is the only logical conclusion that can be had. Either God is you or nothing is. There is no middle ground to it. And since we are here, then that must be the proof that all of God is showing up as you. So when you feel alone, when you feel like you don't have what it takes, when you feel helpless, when things look hopeless, that is that old race belief of virgins in the volcano and saber-toothed tigers and fear, instead of taking a minute and opening up to the idea that there are infinite possibilities that already exist. And if you can think it, you can have it, you can be it. Coming into alignment with that is our work. And that's all about letting go of the old ideas of being small and being wrong, and opening up to this idea that there is a light and a love and a life and a presence and a power that is already who and what we are. We don't go get it. We don't try to put it in an IV. We don't try to buy it in a workshop. It's already there, and then our job is to open to it. And as we open to it, we get to have these amazing lives. It all starts at the point of our choice, the causes that we set in motion, the thoughts that we think, the ideas that we open up to and embrace. And then something takes it. I don't know what it is. Something takes it, and it shows up in physical form. And it shows up as people, as opportunity, as money, as friends, as bodies, as healings, as all kinds of things. It doesn't matter what is showing up. There's no difference between one demonstration and another demonstration. It is all the creation into form How that looks and what we have is all about our choice.
Hi, welcome back. I'm knowing that you had a great time with class and that Barbara gave you some little gems of wisdom that you can use in your life right now, and that you continue to grow and prosper in these teachings every single day. So I want to invite you, if it works for you, to go to our website. Maybe you're already there, but go ahead and send us a gift on the website. Send us something that not only supports us in paying our bills and keeping these classes and our Sunday meditations and talks available to you on a regular basis, but it also is an acknowledgement that you got something of value tonight, and that by acknowledging it, it becomes yours, and you no longer have to wonder what it is that you learned. That's been my experience in my entire journey of life, and I trust that it works for you as well. So let's go ahead and close this with a spiritual mind treatment, knowing that the power and the presence of that one is right here and right now. It's in me. It's in everyone that hears the sound of my voice, knowing that that presence is alive and well in all of us. It is omnipresent. It is everywhere and always. And I know that that is the PowerPoint of our lives. That is that focus that creates the ability for us to create everything that we have in our lives. So from that knowing and from that understanding, we move through life and create prosperity and joy and peace and all of the good things that serve us in living on planet Earth. And certain that this is so, I know that the revelations of this night have had great value and continue to touch the lives of those who join in this class and everyone whose lives they touch, expanding exponentially through time. With all being well and all being God, I simply let this be true in gratitude and love. And so it is. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you again.